this is where we stop. Okay, so we learned if condition, but finally we change the code to if else if, and then we made another second example. Yes, that's what we did. And then someone asked me how to use this, the prompt, and then I showed it here. Let me just comment it out. Yeah, this prompt is annoying. It usually asks you whenever you run. So now I want to actually use switch. When I'm using switch, I will just change this code to switch. How do you write a switch code? Actually, switch. This is what you need. And then the condition here. And then you need curly brackets. And then cases. Case 1. And you just do something, your code. And then break. You may have a couple of cases. Now let me just case 2. And the code, break, and then maybe finally after a couple of cases, I think it doesn't allow me. Just let me just write the default case, the code console.log. Default. There should be colon here. Great. So the condition here, actually, if I, for instance, what do we have? The condition is weather, right? Weather. We pass the weather here. And one of the condition is, if you remember, rainy. So we write the code here. What was when it's rainy? We say it's rainy. And yeah, I forgot to put this one. And then again, I can put here maybe cloudy, right? If you remember, cloudy. It should be cloudy. And then it's a cloudy and it's cloudy and a gloomy day. Yes. And then I can duplicate this because it's the same pattern. Instead of cloudy, I will change it to, what was the other condition, if you remember? Sunny. So I change this to sunny. Sunny. It's such a sunny day. It is such a sunny day. Okay, what's the last? Yeah, the last is no one knows about today. So it will be the default. This one, great. Now we don't need break for the default. Okay, now let's see, condition is not defined, where is it? So when you have something like this, that means a bug. So you have to debug it. Where is this coming from? Unquote, reference, error. So there is some variable which is not declared. So I go to line 55. Where is it? 55. I think it's from the previous. I think if I refresh it, it will not be there anymore. Weather, for instance, rainy. As you can see, it's a rainy day. It's a rainy day. The one is coming from the previous if condition, from line 38. Line 38, that means from here. And the other is coming from 55, from here. Great, now we managed to, but how about if I write something rain? How about if I write it like this? Do you think it works? I need an answer from you guys.
Most likely no, maybe it's case sensitive, is it?
Yeah, it's case sensitive. So, but you know, developers say that users are stupid. They may try everything. So, and also you should consider that users will try it in different ways. So you should make your application work at different scenarios or conditions. So users might try to use capital small or half small, half capital. So let's change how we fix that problem. So actually how we fix it, we can change by adding here to lower case, lower case. Let's try it now. I have to refresh it again. Now, for instance, shiny. Is it how we wrote it here? No, sunny. Sunny. Okay, let's try. Yeah, it's such a shiny day. So we managed to fix it. What we are doing here actually, first we grab the data. After we grab it, we change it to lowercase and we store it to weather. So this is a switch statement. Ternary, something we didn't see, is actually, for instance, let a is equal to something, 5. A is greater than 0. Then we say positive, else. No, it should be a question mark. Question mark, else. Negative. It's another way of writing if else. So this is the condition. And if this condition is true, we execute this part of the code. So we can actually print it out. Console.log this. Else with this part. Console.log this part. So as you can see, the number is, no, I think it didn't run yet, whatever this one. Positive, as you can see, positive. How about if I change this to -5? Negative. So this is ternary. Why we call it ternary? Because it has 3 expressions. This part, this part, and this part. This part. So it's all the time 3 expression. The condition, if the condition is true, the first expression will be executed. If it is false, this will be executed. It's so easy, right? If you want to change this one to an if else, this is how you change it. If a is greater than 0, we run this part of the code, copy, and we put it here. Else, we put this part of the code, copy, and put it here. And you should get the same result, negative, but I think the current negative. This one is from 69, as you can see from this, and the other is from 74 from this. So ternary is an alternative of, like, ternary is an way of writing if else. Okay, switch is an alternative way of writing if else, if else, if else, if else. Yeah, did you get it, guys? If you don't have any question, I think I'm done with conditionals and it's time to move on to another topic. But if you have any questions before that. Is it clear? What is the silent today?
I mean, on my side, yes, indeed, it's very clear.
Hmm?
Yes, I mean, it's very clear. We have free type. So maybe you could say a bit, when would you use one versus the other? You know, the if else versus the switch versus the other one, the ternary. Why would you use one versus the other? It could be interesting.
Oh, okay, yes. The Now it will be a bit hard to make that very clear for you. For instance, there are cases let's say, if I want you to get days of a month, right? Days of a month. If I ask you what's the number of days in November, personally, I don't know them, right? But I am asking you to develop an application which calculates the day of a month, the number of days of a month. For instance, I go and here and check November, it got 30. It got 30, right? I know December is it's 31 actually. And let's also take another example back, maybe, okay, October was 31. So now there will be also, I think September is 30, but I thought this is 30. September is also 30. Do you see some similarity here, guys? Yeah, there is some similarity. Some of the month do have 30, some of 31, some 29, and some 28, right? Okay, so if I ask you to develop an application, I think for such kind of problem, using switch will be much better. If the condition is really big, if it's really long, this will be easy to manage. It's not only for this kind of problems. Sometimes you may have like 30, 40, 50 conditions. So switch will be really good way to manage between the cases. But if you have a couple of 4 or 5 conditions, you can use just if condition, one of the difference. Ternary and if ternary, as you can see, nowadays React usually, it is fancy. For instance, I want to put a value here, let value is going to be what I am going to do. Instead of printing it out, I can do something like this. And instead of consoling that out, I'm putting actually a value. Have you seen? So if this one is greater than 0, it's going to be positive. If not, negative, and the value will be stored in the value is going to be stored in the variable value. I should have used another. So console dot log value. So I can make use of this value in my application. Of course, you can use also, but this is elegant. This is very straightforward code. So their difference and use cases might be different. And of course, you can also use any of them at any condition somehow. So their similarity, almost they are exact. But usually, most of the time, one might be better in code readability and ease of use. Okay, great.
So is the question mark like if, and then the
Yes.
colon is
yes.
if else?
Yes, great. A very good analogy. This one is the if part, and this is the else part. Great. Yes. Let's move on. So we are done with conditions. It's very, very important in programming. So you should be clear with this thing. You should make yourself familiar, and it's easy. Don't make it like a big deal. So what you need if, and then the condition will go here, and you make just a condition now. This condition should be true or false. If it's true, this code will be executed. If not, it will not execute. So we mentioned that just if doesn't make sense, then we add else also. And even if and else just handle only two conditions, but we mentioned that, programs are full of conditions. So we need extra, that is else if condition, more condition. So how many condition can you handle? As many. You can just put this copy, and the execution go down from top to down. If this condition execute, it doesn't go to the bottom. So it checks from top to bottom. Great. Let's move on to loops. Yeah. And this, as you can see, this is annoying. This, I will comment out previous codes, and I will not be challenged by this prompt. Prompt and alert are annoying, Yeah, I will not have this. Thank you. Maybe I should have used a multi-comment. I can use comment it out up to here. And I can, again, whenever I need it, I just yes. And comment out also some part of the code. This is not a code. Great. Loops. What's a loop and loops? We will see for loop, regular for loop, while loop, do while loop, for off, for in, for each, but for each will be later because it's a higher order loop. Yeah, I think I have to use something like this. Loops. Yeah. Great. Do you remember last time how I wrote the loop? Still some code is coming from here. I can comment out. Great, now it's clean. Now we will start first using for loop. Why we need using loops? Who could help me to answer why? Why we need Loop, and what's loop? Because this is very important question to answer, right? First, let me see.
Need to use it to avoid a lot of repeatings of commands. I don't know. Like to write short code, not long.
That's true. To avoid repetitiveness, because there are lots of routines and repetitive tasks, and we don't have to. Last time I told you that if I want you to print out hello world 100 times, it takes you at least an hour. Yeah, you have to type it. Yes, this is the task. Console.log hello world. Yeah, it's already maybe I think a couple of seconds passed. And copy, paste, copy, paste, even with this. Even this is a much easier. Maybe if I have to also greet my students with name, you know, if I want to greet some of my names, my students. Okay, I have to hello Sophia. Yeah. And hello Mark, both of you, both of the names, both of the Mark. Hello William. Don't worry about the typos I make. Hello, never ending and boring and tedious, right? Of course, you are like 10 or 15. It's not a big deal, but imagine if you are supposed to do this 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. So to avoid such kind of repetitive task, we use loop. Okay, so how does the loop structure looks like? Last time, if you remember, for condition we use if, now we use for. Then we pass here actually initialization, condition, and increment or decrement. So we have to start from somewhere. If I want you to print out from 0 to 10, I told you to print out from 0 to 10. What's the initial here? Tell me. 0. And my destination is 10. So this is a condition. So my condition should be between 0 and 10. So let me put the initial. Let initial should be 0. And my condition again, I less than 11. I think I have to comment out this because it may break my browser. And then this one, it should increment the I++. Something I didn't show you in the operators. We saw logical operators, arithmetic operators. I think before this, let me also show you these other operators. Plus, plus, or minus, minus, what it does actually. Let's do for instance, x is equal to 0. Let's see, console.log the value of x. As you can see, the value of x is 0. But how about if I say x is equal to x plus 1, console.log. If I do console, what do you expect if I print out x here? What's the value? I have 0. That means it comes here 0. 0 plus 1, 1. 1 will be stored in x again. So what will be the value here?
1.
1. I answer the question and ask you sometimes. Yes. So it goes the same like this. Actually, we can shorten this way of writing. We can make it shorter. Okay, I think I should comment it out. Copy. We can shorten that way of writing like this also. Now, as you can see, it's the same. Even this way of writing can be shortened again. We can shorten it again by just plus plus. Have you seen? So that means we are adding 1 every time. So now, as you can see, let I is equal to 0. I should be less than 11 because we want to stop at 10, and I plus plus, or we can put it like this, whatever you want. So now our plan is to greet how many times? Console.log hello world 10 times. Have you seen? It's so easy. We said 11 times, but why 11 times? Because 0 to 10 is 11. Yeah. We can start from 1 if we want. And as you can see now, 10 times hello world. But let's print out just console.log I, the numbers. 0, 1, 2, up to 10. And how about if we want to multiply each number? Oh yeah, as you can see. And how about if we print it like this? This is coming from the top. So loop starts from here, console.log, loops start from here. The loop section from here. Okay, great. But if you remember, even last time, string interpolation, what we did is actually this one. So I times I is equal to I times, no, the proper this. What am I doing here? Because I should inject this and inject this. Yeah, so we found, as you can see, it's this multiplication table, 1 by 1, 4, 2 by 2. It goes like that. Yeah. If you want, you can also multiply it 3 times. Is it clear? And now how about if we reverse this number? For instance, I want to print out the other way, 10 to 1 or 10 to 0, reverse order. Instead of like printing, now we are printing, as you see, console.log we're printing, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, something like that. But how about if we want to do again, as I told you, we need 4 and then the condition. The condition, we should start from 10. Let I is equal to 10. And then I should be greater than or equal to 0. And I decrement like this. Or this one. So let's do this decrement. And console.log I. Let's remove the this. As you can see, nice, 10, 9, the other. So we managed to reverse this. Great. Is it easy to follow? Guys, we're almost done with this one. I'm about to go to while loop, if you are familiar with this, if you are happy with this. Shall we move on to while loop? before we go to while loop, let's do something, maybe what we have done last week. Do you remember our shopping cart? Our shopping cart, it could be here. We stored some shops. So this one, yes. How about, yeah, I am declaring it here. How many items do we have in the shopping cart?
Seven.
Yes, 7. 1, 2, 3. But we can use also console.log shopping cart dot length, right? You don't count it manually, but why I don't see shopping cart? Why I don't see my value? Okay, let me just turn off this for some time. And this, lots of number everywhere is oh. I'm working in another file. Sorry, guys. Copy. I should be in here. Even now, since I'm working also in loops, so I think it's better if I just also take the codes I have here to the loops. So at some point it will be easy for you also to follow. So I can just take this code to loops. Yeah, I have been working on here. So I put it here, and the conditionals also, I will take the conditionals to there. It seems up to here. Conditionals, loops. Then let me clean what I have here. That's so far going well. Let me comment. Shopping cart. For yes, good. But I'm not sure if we link these loops there yet, so I have to link it there. Now we don't need even this one. Let's comment it out. Comment this up to here and link script and source dot loops. Great. Yeah, now we will focus on the loops file. Yeah, but surprisingly, I want to work on this one. And it seems we have duplicate code. We don't need this one, the one we did last week. Yeah. Okay, we don't need that. Okay, so as you can see, we have 7 items in the cart. So if we want to get one of the item, how do we do? How do we get the one of the items, either coffee or candy? Tell me. Console.log shopping cart. If I'm interested in one of the items, 0. If I'm interested in coffee, 0. If I'm interested in tea, it's going to be 6. Let me show you 6, for instance. It should give me tea. Is it clear last week? This is what we have done. If I'm interested in if I'm interested in honey, 0, 1, 2, and I go to 2. as you can see, honey. So actually I can take all of them out using a for loop. So how do we do that? For let I is equal to 0. And how far do I go? I is less than what's the shopping cart dot length and I plus plus. This is so we start from 0 and we go up to the length of this one, the length of the shopping cart. So console.log let's see the value of I. It goes from 0 to 6. Tell me what's the last index of the shopping cart. The last index of the shopping cart is actually, this is how we calculate last index, shopping cart dot length minus 1, right? Do you remember this? Yeah, this means a shopping cart I less than shopping cart dot length means actually is the last index. We can also maybe so instead of just printing 0, we can make advantage of 0, 1 each index. Let's see how. Console.log shopping cart, and then we can pass this. Now, as you can see, we got all the items starting from coffee, candy, honey. Even we can capitalize them to uppercase. Now, as you can see, honey, coffee, candy, honey, milk, meat, avocado. What is the silence, guys? Are you with me?
Yes.
Great. So this is, yeah, now if I want to greet to my students, students, first I have to collect my students. Yes, Sophia. And then going to be Mark and another Mark, because even though they have the same name, so they are different people. So I have to write them 2 times. Sophia and Julie and Julies. I have some kind of names. Now, and the list goes Yuda. And how about if I want to greet these people at once? Tell me, how do I do that? And copy, and here I am giving you time to think. Up to that, I am populating the names, student's name. Okay, how many students I have in my list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I may miss some students, definitely. Yes. Okay, so let me show you. We just do the same thing like here. So what we do, for let I is equal to 0, I is less than students dot length I plus plus console.log. If I just write students, I will print the students actually many times. Have you seen? That doesn't make sense, right? How I'm just printing the students, but I am interested actually each student. And how I do it, this is how we do it. I Now, as you can see, Sophia, Mark, Julie, Yuli, Julia, Anna, Yoda, Kathy, Jasira, and Essie, Maisa. Now it's about to greet them. It's not just printing them out. So actually, it's so easy. We can say, welcome. We should use this string interpolation. Welcome. Welcome. And then I just put this value to modern JavaScript. I hope you will enjoy this course. What is that? Let's see if there's something. Okay. Yeah, I should close this. Yeah, now as you can see, we printed out this. We don't need this. I write things fast, so there might be typos. So welcome, Sophia, to Modern JavaScript. I hope you will enjoy this course. Welcome, Mark, to Modern JavaScript. I hope you will enjoy this course. Yeah, this is how it works. You receive an info. Of course, some automated systems send something by your name, but it might not be done by a human being. It's just automated, you know. Everybody receives the same information with his name or her name, and it feels as if it's written by a human being. And of course, if it's also written by a human being, sometimes you just use some automated thing to just broadcast at once instead of writing it one after another. Yeah? Shall we move on? If you don't say, I'm not going to go to the next topic. Is it clear for you?
I'm just trying to write down what you've done here to see that it works for me.
How about if I ask you to populate these students in a reverse order? Sophia is the first student, but if I want you to create another array, Maisa is the first student and Sophia will be the last. Or if I ask you also to reverse this one, maybe Coffee is the first, but instead, how about if I ask you to reverse and T will be the first? You may try that by yourself, not now. Or maybe I think it's a very good idea if I give you some time to work on that, how you can manage to solve this. The task is going to be breaking this, reversing this, either this one or this one. It's the same. If you know how to reverse this, you know how to reverse this. Maybe, and that's also difficult. Honest names. I want you to reverse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you will discuss about it, how to reverse this. And remember to consider push method. Last time you learned about push, pop, shift, and shift. But I think for this case, push is enough. Push is just to push things. I will put you in a breaking room to discuss how to solve this. So your result should look like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You will have a break. You will have a breaking in the breakout. Or how do they call it this? Let me see. Breakout. Yes, in the breakout room, you will have 5 minutes to discuss about how to solve it. And then
Sabina, I was wondering if it would be possible to have a break first and then the breakout room. Would that be okay? Would it be possible to have a break first and then go to the breakout room?
Yeah, that would be good. Yes. Then let's have a break. How much?
Everyone's okay with that?
Yes. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Shall we have another 10 minutes? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's have another 10 minutes. Good.